Warning, this video is not targeted to kids and may be inappropriate to younger audiences. Your discretion is advised. Hello, dudes and dudettes. It's your favorite Regent Gamer Mix 17 here, and I am back once again for another Subnautica Let's Explore. Now, today we are exploring something a lot larger than, of course, the Sea Treader's Path. We are exploring the Lost River. The Lost River, of course, has been mentioned a few times, because we've went close to its entrance points a total of 3 times. Technically 4, but I didn't show the 4th one due to the fact that I'm not entirely sure where exactly it is, but I brought up a map to help me pinpoint where the heck this thing is, so, and I think I know exactly where it is now. I swear. The Lost River is a large biome. It doesn't matter that it's dark out, because the Lost River does not have any form of sunlight at all. So to start off with, we're gonna go with, since we're right close to the Sea Treader's Path, we're gonna look down and we're gonna go towards the trench. Yes, the very same trench that we explored like a few videos ago, like maybe 2 videos ago. The Blood Kelp Trench. Okay, yeah, nah, screw that. I'm taking the Cyclops so I can get close. You see, I hear that, and that's why I'm taking the thing. But yeah, as I was mentioning, so there are exactly 4 points where you could enter the Lost River. One of them is within the Blood Kelp Trench. Another one is within the northern Blood Kelp Zone. Another one is located within the Grand Reef. And then finally, we have one that's located in the Blood Kelp Zone, bordering against the dunes. The dunes, the mountains biome. Let's see. And I think I just found the thing. So, what makes this this zone so special? Well, the trench, of course, is a very, very deep zone that allows you to just instantly drop within a significant amount of depth. And the Lost River starts at quite a deep depth, that being starting off with 150 meters, dropping all the way down to 1,000 meters. So we shall start off with just going in the deep, all the way down. And the most significant way of you finding out that you are getting close to, or that you've entered into the Lost River, is, of course, for one thing, change of ambience, or I think that's the correct, no, not ambience, but basically a change in coloration of the fog, where it'll start to have a green tone to it.
Local scans show a nearby opening, leading to a biome with extensive fossilized remains.
You'll also come across a green mist and a sudden new change of fauna. If I could see them anytime soon. It's not easy trying to navigate through the trench. I typically don't go through the trench either. Oh, here it is. So yes, this is the mist. That's the first sign of you getting close to it, and we have entered the Lost River. Now then, the Lost River actually contains 2, well, technically 3 hostile creatures, but mostly 2 which are more smaller, that being the cave crab, or the blood crawler, or the really long variations of the cave crab, or something like that. The other eel of some type. I don't remember what the heck they're called now. I've gone blank-minded and I didn't write down my notes. But we'll see them eventually. So yeah, this is the blood? Yeah, the blood kelp zone. Nah, I'm kidding. Now, this is the Lost River. The final enemy that you will, of course, come across is the Ghost Leviathan as well. Now then. I would go further, but first I want to discuss the 4 points, or the 4 entrances, so that way everyone knows where they are and which one they want to go through, depending on how close they are or just because of personal preference. So yeah. This is the first point that I discussed over, which is in the trench. Hooray! And I'm gonna hit something. But yeah. Now then, we shall move on to the next one. I will see you all when I get there. Alrighty then, and now we are back. So let's continue onward. Just had to do a quick air scrubber because I'm blowing out my engine.
Extinguished. Air scrubbers initiated.
Thank you. And you. So here we are in the Grand Reef. I know you can't really tell, but we are actually at the Grand Reef. If you can't tell from, you know, the orbs, whatever. So this is the huge drop area that I typically go to, or whenever I enter the Grand Reef. Specifically, this is the drop zone that I go into. And the second entrance that I'm going to be covering over is in the Grand Reef cave that I ended up briefly going over in the video of the Grand Reef. Right through here, all the way on the other side, basically, and the deepest, farthest side of this thing. Oh, well, I mean, here's the... what are these things called? The thing. The gassy base. Ow. Crap! Oh, wait, I forgot. I'm in creative mode. It doesn't... Oh, okay, so I mean I can move, but I can't do anything. So, using the gassy base as a point of reference, this should... I mean, I say it should, but it didn't actually work. Oh, there we go. So I was correct. So using the gassy base as a reference point, right towards this direction, pointing towards the north, and just down. Okay then. I hope I didn't get anyone motion sickness. Just for down here is the second entrance point. There we go. Which will lead you, of course, straight into the Lost River. And obviously you can tell by the green mist and strange new types of fauna. Especially the ghost rays. Yeah, there we go. After just wandering around for so long looking like a blazing idiot, I finally found a thing again. I'm telling you, this thing is... I get a little lost every now and again. I have to use this thing as a focus point. And we'll move on to the third entrance point. Alrighty then, and we finally made it. It took me a while because I swear I was not having an easy time trying to maneuver inside the blood kelp zone, specifically the northern blood kelp zone at night. I can't see a thing. So here we are, people. Now then, there was a little bit of a dip within this area that I ended up showing in the episode I did on the blood kelp zone. In the northern one, there was a cave system, or cave tunnel entrance, right here. This is, of course, the third entrance point to the blood kelp zone. This is actually the one that I use most often. For one thing, I think it's the closest one to my base, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I think so. And it's the most easiest one for me to remember. And probably one of the more safer ones as well. Yeah, right in there is, of course, The Blood Kelp Zone. Hurrah! And then, there they are. I was hoping to find out the name of these creatures again, because I can't remember, because these were the second, or the other creature that you could... Oh, whoops. River Prowler. There we go. The River Prowler is also another hostile mob that you can come across within this, within the biome. So yeah, that helps. And that's pretty much it for this third entrance. We shall now go to the fourth and final one. So I will see you all when I get over there. And then we can begin our actual adventure into an exploration of the Lost River. Alrighty then, of course we are back once again to the fourth and final entrance point. Which is a fun fact, if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is actually my this was my first entrance point that I actually discovered and went through by myself in my survival series. So yeah, I was pretty dumb because this is actually not a great place to go to. So yeah, it's not very easy to spot just anywhere, especially if you know where you're headed. So right there's the bulb bush, and right behind me is the mountains biome, which of course we discovered wasn't exactly the most friendly. And the entrance was like right below me. I'm trying to do my best to show you, but I'd rather not accidentally lose this thing, so yeah. It's just a huge drop off on this little area right here, and it just slopes down and drops down a lot all the way to roughly this point here where I'm gonna stop. And there's a Reaper Leviathan sort of behind me. Its patrol is like somewhere towards that direction, so fun stuff. Again, I would not recommend this one.
Welcome aboard, Captain. All systems online.
Especially for how dangerous this entrance point is. So yeah, as this little biome here drops, or this area drops, we of course come across the thing. The Lost River. Okay, there we go. I was going blank-minded there. Now this tunnel system here is a very long solo tunnel system, which is just mostly a straight pathway. Now then, with all that said, I guess we can now begin with everything that this place introduces. Now, of course, I've mentioned the rough depth of how deep this thing goes. And I believe I mentioned the outcrops, but if I didn't, I'll say them again. It obtains every single outcrop: limestone, sandstone, and shale outcrops. It has a disease research facility. It contains the Gargantuan fossil. It has the Ghost Forest Arch cache, and it contains the Lost River laboratory. And also, this place is home to not one, not even two, but I believe 3 ghost leviathans. Hurrah! We're actually going to be coming across one of them right now. Also, I hope I didn't pass it yet. No, I didn't. Ow. Yes, here it is. A large sinkhole area thingamabob, which looks terrifying as everything, is actually just another entrance point to the lava zone. So yeah, hurrah for that. I don't know how I avoided the Ghost Leviathan, and I don't care. All I know is that I avoided him, and I'm glad. So yeah, Continuing on forth, this is, again, it's a very long tunnel system, and right at the end of it, we will come across... Oh, I thought those were something else. No, there was the exact thing I'm looking for, which is the Disease Research Facility. So, hurrah, we have found it. The Disease
Alien structure appears to have collapsed to the sea floor.
Research Facility, which of course is guarded by another enemy that I forgot to mention, which is the Warper. This Disease Research Facility, once you enter it, I mean, obviously, you know, it's Disease Research Facility. You get to find all this stuff. Now then, I don't know if you paid attention.
Alien broadcast. Linguistic analysis reads, caution, hazardous materials and life forms contained within. Interior walls in this section are substantially reinforced, indicating the designers were seeking either to keep something out or contain it within. Whatever their intention, it clearly failed.
What's it called? Fun fact, this is actually one of the coldest areas within the world of...
Biological evidence suggests indigenous life forms were brought to this location and subjected to intensive study.
Like I was saying, this is actually the coldest area within this... Okay, now I'm... Not in the world, obviously, because we have below zero, but this is actually the coldest area within the Crater Island? Well, basically this sector of Subnautica. So, yeah. Obviously, it doesn't give you any effects like in below zero, but still, nonetheless, it's a pretty cold area. And the way that you can tell is with the temperature gauge that's underneath the power and health of your vehicles. I noticed this actually during my survival series with the prawn suits when I came down here. At least I think it was my prawn suit. If not, it was this sea moth. Now then, continuing on forth, a very familiar place that I've actually put up camp with, which is, of course, this little area here, where we have the skeletal structure of, or at least what remains, of the sea dragon Leviathan. And also, more of this is, of course, this is more of the central point of all the zones, kind of. Who? Okay, I was about to say, who the heck is hitting me? It's just that thing. Right up here, of course, has a little tunnel, but this tunnel leads all the way to the third entry point, which is the northern blood kelp zone. The blood kelp zone that, the entrance point that I typically take, which also contains another ghost leviathan. Yeah, funny enough, all the entrances into the Lost River contain ghost leviathans in your path. But this is the most easiest one to avoid. And just past this guy here, we actually have this little area here that I think was briefly just shown. Behind this, essentially a waterfall, is a cache point. I'm gonna get hit, aren't I? Yep, there it is. Haha. Oh, I was waiting for that. So yeah, there you go. That is the, if I'm not mistaken, that is the Ghost Forest Arch cache, or cache, whichever, however you pronounce it. I don't even know how you pronounce it. Oh, and there's little guys. Those are the crawlers I was talking about. Anywho, heading back all the way towards where I was, we're gonna travel to the other area of potential interest, which is also will lead to the other two entrance points. It's just a bit odd. And of course it contains the Gargantuan Leviathan fossil. You know what, speaking of Gargantuan Leviathan, that reminds me of the mod that was created. I think it's the Return of the Ancients mod, which of course is a small group of developers who created a mod that, of course, as the name suggests, made it to where ancient creatures once again live, including creatures that they made themselves, or just creatures that are, you know, some kind of theorized within our own world itself. One of those creatures was, of course, the Gargantuan Leviathan, where they made the thing alive again. They have a juvenile and the adult version. The adult version is huge.
This biome contains unusually high concentrations of organic and fossilized remains.
So yeah, I suggest you go check that one out too while you're at it. So yeah, here's the fossil remains of the Gargantuan Leviathan. It's pretty big, and I think the Ghost Leviathan should be somewhere towards that direction. If not, it's gonna jump out right in front of me, and none of us want that. Oh, look, there it is. Anywho, so this direction here should lead us straight to the the Grand Reef. The Grand Reef entrance. Yeah, the one where I got lost I typically don't go to because of the fact that I get lost. Oh, what the heck? Where did that come from? Alright, it's got a little dark here. I can't really see that well. So let's see. If I'm not mistaken, I believe... Yep, this is it. I remember the skeletal structure. Just right up there is the entrance point that we ended up going down. And just over here, this large area that makes almost no sense of how to maneuver through it, we will come across two things. One, we'll come across or not two things, but we'll come across three things. One thing is this here skeletal structure, which is quite interesting to check out and read about, even though we already went through that. The other one being another cache, or specifically the Lost River Laboratory, where you can also obtain a cuttlefish egg. So, hurrah for that. This all also lead to... Yes, here it is. This little zone here, which is the final area where you can enter into it, or enter into the Lost River, which is the Blood Kelp Trench. I know that I said that there's only 4 entrances, but that one's technically still considered this entrance, since it's right next to it anyway. So yeah. As confusing as this all sounds, it all links up to 4 different points of the map. Now then, this is almost everything. We actually got one other area to check out before we end off this episode. And that requires us to go all the way back. Oh yeah, I forgot. You may occasionally, depending on how close you are to this area, you will probably come across some, well, crab squids. But yeah, the final area is a bit of a strange one, at least in my opinion, because I don't really consider it as the Lost River. I kind of consider it its own biome of some sorts, only because of the fact of the change within fauna itself and environment as well. But the majority of sources, of course, actually just about every single source, says that, of course, it's tied into the Lost River. And I think in the game code itself says it too, but I don't really know due to the fact that I don't look into the game code. And I can't. And also, if I tried to, I probably would mess something up, because I'm not I'm not a coder. I think I can say that. I don't code. There we go. That, of course, being more towards the second entrance to the lava zone. There we go. That zone, of course, being right here, the tree, the ghost tree? Can't remember. But honestly, I mean, can you blame me for why I would think that? I mean, yes, I know that the green mist stays, and that the plants here stay as well, but it's a different type of mist. It's still, I believe it still hurts you, if I'm not mistaken. The green one definitely hurts you. The blue one, I can't remember if I tested this out or not. But of course, the majority of life here is nothing but these ghost rays. There are almost no predators here. And the main thing, of course, this beautiful creation, the giant Cove Tree.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Does this place run deep? Of course it does, but regardless, I don't consider this one very much of the Lost River, but since it's still considered is by a majority of sources and potentially game code, I'd have to agree with it, I guess. And it's just this long stretch of this place. And of course, I'm pretty sure if you've been paying attention to the temperature module, or the temperature gauge, it does rise and lower every now and again. That's because of the fact that we got vents, which of course give off heat, and I believe I've shown that I've used that same heat as a set form of power for my base within the Lost River. Well, yeah, this magnificent biome, which I should have built my base in, just runs all the way down here, and it ends off suddenly with the extreme heat of the beginning lava zone. And that's pretty much about it. Wow, we are almost ending off this whole series. Well then. And that concludes the Lost River. Thank you, everyone, for joining me in this grand adventure of Subnautica Let's Explore, and I will see you all in the next episode. Goodbye.